Yeah, when you started. Yeah, and then when that's done, then we tell you.
You're the only person that's there's one person standing, give him the eye right now.
This is the first time in a lot of directions.
Look at this. First time for everything. Will we stand on the side seats, like, we gotta leave this house, give me like an hour.
If you have your cell phones, please put them on silent or vibrate. Thank you. Babies too.
I'm just kidding, yes. I'm just kidding.
just want to start out by thanking everyone for being here today. Grandma had asked me several years ago, while sitting in the hot tub, to write her eulogy. I of course agreed, thinking this day will never come. My grandma, as you know, was a constant for so many. One of those people you expected just to live forever. I'm honored to have the opportunity to share with you a glimpse of just how much she meant to me. I learned a lot from my grandma through our nightly FaceTime calls and hot tub chats, dropping her off at bowling tournaments, riding around the golf cart, or sitting by the fire at the Pride of America campground, and our many trips to Florida. My grandma was many things: calm, selfless, loving, and wise. One of the most admirable things about my grandmother was her selflessness. Everything she did for someone else. And as you know, my grandma loved a good hour or two in the hot tub. Every night while in the hot tub, she'd wish on a star. These wishes weren't for her, but for others. She'd tell me she already lived a long life and there couldn't possibly be something else she could wish for. So she'd wish for others. Like for me to marry a lovely guy, which I did, or get into a graduate program, for my mom to be happy or my family to be at peace. I'll miss those chats. But now I find comfort knowing that my grandma has become one of those stars that I can wish on. And anytime the universe throws me a bone, that it's just her letting me know she's still up there making those wishes. My grandma's birthday was always around the same time as Red Lobster Shrimp Fest. And every year for about 10, the whole family went. And we'd go there to celebrate her birthday. We'd eat and laugh and make the best memories. It wasn't until about 6 years ago when we found out my grandma doesn't even like Red Lobster. When we asked her why she never said anything, she just smiled and said, "It makes you guys happy. It didn't matter where we were as long as we were happy and we were together." My grandma was also the one calm one in the family. Whether my son Johnny would be elbow deep in Casey's water dish, or Grandpa Curly would be a casual 2 hours late picking us up from the Florida beach, we'd all be sunburnt. She'd just smile and shrug her shoulders. She exuded a sense of calmness to any situation and taught us that life just happens and everything has a purpose. You have to make mistakes to be great, and complaining never got you anywhere, and nothing couldn't be fixed without a simple smile or a shoulder shrug. Many of you don't know this, but when my Aunt Nancy went into cardiac arrest in 2013, my grandma was in the room with me. She was the one on the phone with 911 coaching me while I performed CPR. She was calm, reassuring, and just said, "You're doing great, Kel. Help is on the way." I'm forever grateful for her. The kind of love my grandma felt was a love without condition. She may not have approved of everything we did, may not have liked the decisions we made, but she didn't lecture and she didn't judge. She just kept loving us, letting us know that she was there if we ever needed her, and we could count on her to listen, to comfort, and to help. One Christmas several years ago, she handed me a note that read, "Merry Christmas, Kelly. I wish I could give you more, but I can't right now. So I give this note along with my love, my proudness," which I don't know if even's a word, "with a few little gifts, but know that my love for you outweighs them all." But she didn't realize that she actually gave me the best gift of all that year. She was one of the wisest women I've ever met. She instilled some of the most important life lessons that I now live by, that life is too short to go to bed mad, it'll be better before you get married, and my personal favorite, men are so exhausting. They would be lost and hungry without us. My grandma was one of the best friends you could have ever had as well. To you, she was your friend, and for her, you were her family. She genuinely cared for everyone she called a friend and would jump at the chance to be your grandma too. She'd provide the wisdom you never knew you needed, sprinkled with a laugh at just the right time. My grandma was a tough cookie. Not only did she care for 2 husbands, but raised the 6 Derlein kids, which we know was very tough. Between the kids ramming Tonka trunks into foreheads, crying because no one wanted to sit next to Nancy, or turning the burner on when one of the boys was climbing on the stove, she handled everything with warmth and grace, and a little bit of Chardonnay. She instilled her grace in each of her children and formed a strong bond with each. Kathy was the oldest. Grandma always shared with me that Kathy was her helper. When Grandpa John would be gone on business, Kathy would be the one to help her with the 5 siblings. It's the only way she could survive. And the help Kathy provided carried on, especially over the past year of Grandma's life. Jack was her constant, her sounding board, and whenever she would be making a decision and don't know what to do, she would just say, well, we should call Jack. He was also the only one to date to get her to board a plane willingly to travel across the country to visit him. Nancy was her easy child, and you'd never guess it because Nancy had a lot of health issues, but Nancy did everything she could to make it easy for Grandma, usually encompassing Grandma's loving qualities such as grace. Dave was her safety net and her security blanket. She loved her long conversations with Dave and could always count on a good feel-good conversation sprinkled with some conspiracies and some laughs. Dave was always the one to make sure things were taken care of, and he'd do anything for her, but on his own time. Bob, or Bobby as she would call him, was probably the one that gave her all the gray hair. He may have kept her on her toes, but he was also her protector, the family's protector, and she knew when Bobby was around, she would be safe and supported, and even in her last breaths. Janice was her best friend, the Cindy of her Brady Bunch. No surprise, she got away with everything up until the last day my grandma passed away. My mom was Grandma's home, and wherever my mom was is where she wanted to be. The best gift her kids gave her were her grandkids. There wasn't anything she wouldn't do for us, including taking the blame for a broken candle holder. Sorry, Mom, that was actually me. Or when Scott accidentally broke her windshield on the golf cart. He was too afraid to tell her, but she just simply responded with, "You're okay, right? That's all that matters." She surrounded herself with her grandkids, playing dice or euchre, drinking till hours of the night or morning, and wishing on stars in a hot tub. There's no place she or we would rather be. And just when you thought she couldn't love her family more, then came along the great-grandkids. She'd instantly spark up anytime she saw one of them, and always had to give them something, a gift. Nothing made her happier than a hug from one of them, and she always had a way of making them feel like the only one in the room. She had a special connection that was so beautiful to watch, and watching her with my son was my favorite. I could talk forever about how much my grandma meant to me, but I'll leave you with some words from one of my favorite songs that sum up how I can imagine everyone in this room feels. I wish heaven had visiting hours. I'd ask them if I could take you home, but I know what they'd say, that it's for the best. So I'll live the way you taught me and open up my heart. And everyone I love will know exactly who you are, because this is not goodbye, but until we meet again.
Didn't know today would be our last. feel so small, and you were always there to catch me when I'd fall. In a world where heroes come and go, well, God just took the only one I know. So I'll hold you as close as I can, longing for the day when I see your face again. But until then, God must need another angel around the throne tonight. Your love lives on inside of me, and I will hold on tight. It's not my place to question, only God knows why. I'm just jealous of the angels around the throne tonight, singing hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I'm just jealous of the angels around the throne tonight.
I just want to thank everyone again for coming. We are going to have people over at my mom's, so anybody's welcome. Thank you all for coming. We are having people over at my mom's with just to celebrate and keep drinking and Chardonnay and living life. And burgers. We're having burgers. A lot of them.
Thank you everybody for coming. Please keep the family in your thoughts and prayers, and maybe every time you hear a little thunderstorm, you'll think of her up in heaven pouring. So thank you for coming.
Sally's back there grinning ear to ear. Just hit finish.